Alright, Team Davison, live weatherblog.com meteorologist here. Overnight outlook's going to be concentrating on the tropics tonight. We have Harvey, who's moved inland, and that's going to die death, and rain itself out, and flooding problems to the Central American area. We have Irene, which is going to be the big issue. We're going to have an issue with Irene. This issue may affect somebody from Florida, even to the Carolinas, and even further north. A lot of the computer models right now take it near Florida. Some of them turn it up towards South Carolina, North Carolina border, and then or Georgia border, and then pull it inland, which would then become a big, huge flooding threat for the eastern United States. That would be from anywhere from the northeast all the way down. That would affect us here in Roanoke and also Philadelphia area. And some the further south models pull it over here towards New Orleans, or just east there, and then curve it back in. So that would still be a threat for heavy rain on the east coast. So this could be getting very interesting. Let's take a look at a satellite picture of this storm. Harvey's looking good. Its center that's overcast is near the center of circulation. It's moving in the general direction, which looks to be a little more north than the actual track originally had it. It's moving west at 21 miles an hour, so it is moving west. If this takes more of a northerly track, that would be more of a problem north of Florida. But it's moving west. It's going to hit the islands, and then should curve at that point. And this could be an issue by next weekend. Let's put this in animation mode. Show you what's going on here. Visible. You can see this thing getting better organized as it comes along. It's just getting itself together. It's just starting to breathe really well, and that's a sign of it's going to become a hurricane. This will become a hurricane, and after that, we'll see where it goes. And that's anywhere on the East Coast. Have your guard up. Florida especially. Here's the ensemble of the models. You can see it's one ensemble goes over Roanoke, but you see all this will bring heavy rainfall. And this is not a small storm. This is actually a bigger storm, and it could be even bigger than it is now. In the way it looks, and this ensemble just tell you it's going to come onto Florida or near Florida, and then move in a northeasterly fashion like a nor'easter. So, that being said, the whole East Coast needs to be on alert, especially Florida. Telling you right now, Florida not looking too good. And if it goes west of, say, it goes over like Key West, the eastern side is going to be coming over Miami and everything like that. So it'll be really ugly. The further south models GFDL, I don't see this happening. It's kind of odd. The rest of the models, H-Warp and GFS, and so forth, bring it right to Florida. I would pretty much say that's a good bet to happen. This is kind of off this GFDL model. It's telling the highs blocking harder and the troughs pushing further south, so it doesn't open the gate per se like it would if the gate's open. That's where you can get the northeastern move. So we're gonna look at the GFS, and you see this clearly distinctly pulls Irene here, strengthens it. It really strengthens it south of Hispaniola. This is why it's dangerous, because it's not going to get a chance to weaken much. And then it gets north of Cuba. Here's where we're going to have problems. Here's where we have big problems. Look how strong this gets south of Florida. This would be affecting Florida. We're on hour 111 at this point. And this is going right near Miami. Look at that strength of that storm. It's strong. It would whack the coast, ride the coast pretty much up through Savannah, Georgia, and then inland. And here's where the issue is. We're out 168 hours here. Look at the isobars in North Carolina. This thing would still be holding, if it stayed at this level, still be holding hurricane strength as it came through North Carolina and towards Virginia. This could be a major issue next weekend here on the East Coast. So stay with liveweatherblogs.com. If this were to follow this exact path, this would be a major issue for us. Here's the H-Warp model, and this is going to show something similar to the idea that's going on here with we're 100 knots. So basically, bring as close to GFS as possible. Here's Cuba. May weaken a little bit. Once it gets back over to open water, this is where it gets ugly. We're over about 100 knots, 108 knots. Look where it's hitting. Here's Miami. This is going right into Florida. It's the H-Wharf model. So what's O Canada have for us here? It's already too late what it's showing here. It's south. So it's already too far south. Definitely too far south and too late on the strength. But this will come right west of Florida. Same difference though. You're going to have the trough and the high, so where would it go? We'll continue. It would definitely still come up through. Might go for the Panhandle and then up through the Appalachians. So that's how the Canadians use it. So us here in the Appalachians and even in the Northeast, we're going to be looking at, looks like at this point, definitely rain and wind upcoming. Here's the GFDL. See how this turns itself. This is, as I said, it says the high block's really strong. Here comes the trough. This would pull it south of. This would make a massive hurricane too. Only go that so far, but this will bring it further south here, and then also futuristically curve it. Same difference. You're still going to have the issue when it comes to. Still have the issue when it comes to the fact that we were looking at Florida. Still possibly as a landfalling location. This is just, I think, a little south. I keep watching it, but it's really pulls a south movement, and I don't know if I want to grasp onto that when we have a lot of models showing a different scenario of the more northerly turn. Here's your ECMWF. Here it goes. Plows it into Florida at 144 hours. Same. That's 3 or 4 models that are showing that, and if these models have been consistent, and they're the more dependable models. So Florida, I'm telling you right now, put your preparations in place, because it's really looking bad for you at this point. And stay with liveweatherblogs.com. That's what I can tell you to do. So prepare now. Get your canned food. Get your emergency supply kit together. It's just something I would recommend if you're living in Florida at this point. That includes Weather Guy 03, Bob Acafrio. I know he lives in Florida. Buddy, you're in at this point. You're in for something big. So we'll be talking. For liveweatherblogs.com, meteorologist Dean Davison. Keep an eye with us for the tropics. It's getting active, and we have a threat to the United States. Have a great evening.